What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28. That's the one, the only. It is Scott Savage. Find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, what's happening, buddy?
Oh, I finally got a good amount of sleep for once this week.
Dude.
Only to realize that it's already Thursday. The week's almost gone.
So for those who don't know, I have a little one who's 1 year old. Woke up 5:30 this morning, Scott. And I went, here, take this, go back to bed. I was like, oh, hey, I got up at 8:30. I'm like, dude, you're the best. I was like, wow, that's a little early for me, man. Don't do that to me. Come on now.
My cat was singing at about 3 in the morning, but that's something I'm used to now.
It's just whatever, man. Let's get on to some news for today, because this is ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can join us live over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG Reviews. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later. InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, today is all about, well, mostly anyways, Oculus had a showcase yesterday. They got a ton of content. Their showcase yesterday featured a ton of games, and it was all about what's coming this year. It's an exciting time to be an Oculus person, man. They have a lot going on in the world of VR. So we can... Dude, why don't we just jump in? Let's go. I'm going to head over to here because they started with some, well, they didn't start, but they got some recaps here of Resident Evil 4, The Mercenaries, Scott. The Mercenaries has been entirely rebuilt for VR from Amateur Studio in partnership with Oculus Studios and Capcom. Your goal is the same as ever. Take out as many Gondos as possible before time expires. The MetaQuest 2 version features exclusive online leaderboards through plus 20 new challenges to test your skills against. Completing challenges also lets you unlock some made-for VR treats, including a big head mode. Scott, what was your thoughts on this one?
That one looked a little weird. It's one of the first callbacks to GoldenEye that I've seen in a very long time. I don't know if they were the first, but they're the biggest in my mind for big head mode and all sorts of silly stuff. No, I wasn't super familiar with what the whole Mercenaries was supposed to be. So seeing a little bit of this, I remember it being mentioned, but then it was just kind of shelved. And now it's being brought back. That's really cool. But I'm not sure how it fits into Resident Evil 4 specifically. My first remark to it was, well, this could have been the mercenaries of the movie series, and then that would feature all the different characters. It would still be just as wacky as I'm sure it's going to be. Seeing Wesker is the worst, best bad guy
ever. There you go. Your Doom guy joins us over at Twitch. What's up, Nate? Make sure you check out all of Nate's content. He does a lot of level up stuff, so he keeps you up and informed with new stuff over on ITG reviews. What's happening, brother? Dude, let's get
into this. If you have any questions about Fallout,
oh my goodness, he's definitely the guy to go to. That hunt, and it's gone now, but Memories of Mars, he did a lot of time into that one. But dude, let's get into some Beat Saber electronic mixtape. This was cool. I'm a huge Beat Saber fan. Here's the problem, all right? When I originally got my Oculus Rift back in the day, instantly purchased Beat Saber, connected to my PC, right? You're tethered, whatever. It felt great. Yeah, your Rift is no longer a thing. I got Beat Saber over on my Oculus Quest 2. Dude, I feel like there's a little lag input, and it's not as coordinated. Now, there could be an update. Maybe it's something I'm missing, but that's what's happening. But yesterday, that sounds
awful for Beat Saber.
Well, right, you can be
amount of lag is going to cause you, and then if you're motion sick at all, that's definitely going to spike.
The motion sickness isn't a big thing, especially in Beat Saber. Dude, if I get motion sickness, I jump into Beat Saber and I feel great. Like it's one of those. It actually flipped me around because I don't move. Everything comes at you, and you're just kind of waving your arms around and stuff. But it's the motion. I feel like so half the time I wave the saber and then it slices afterwards, so there's a bit of a
don't delay. Imagine that you're on a train.
no oh my goodness.
I may have just ruined it for you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but they have an electronic mixtape featuring tracks from hit artists like Deadmau5, Marshmello, and Pendulum coming, and more. So that's a new update for Beat Saber. Always cool to see that kind of add more tracks. I have the Linkin Park.
I think I played that.
It's so good. It's
in
so
your living room
good.
Once upon a time. I did play Beat Saber, and I think that's what I played.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. It's one of the best VR games you will ever play. So now what yeah, there you go. What I've been excited for, Scott, is Cities VR. Finally, it is coming. We are huge city building fans here at ITG, but for more than 30 years, the city builder genre has kept inspiring urban planners and maybe a few professionals up laying roads, placing hospitals and schools, creating the cities of their dreams. Now, Cities VR is set to bring the streets to life like never before. Fans of Paradox City Skylines will feel right at home here as Cities VR manages to capture the essence of the experience on Quest 2. It's not a one-to-one port, but Fast Travel Games is taking you, quote, through the screens, end quote, so to speak, giving you a newfound appreciation unique to VR. Dude, I'm pumped. I followed this the minute it was announced. It looks cool. It's not as detailed as Cities, right? That's the biggest. It does
have a little bit of a cartoony look to it about it.
It does, and I know I'm worried that that's going to take the experience away a little bit, right? Because if you played Cities, man, that game is massive. Like, there's so many things you can do within that game. But I think this is going to be a unique experience as a spin-off, almost like a side quest kind of thing, versus an actual the city's full experience.
You just got me thinking, is that the new VR headset, the side quest?
No, actually, there's a company called SideQuest that allows you to get into other things. Yeah, that could be for a whole other show. They also talked about Ruins Magus, and this is, if I'd ever seen a game in VR for Northern Nerdcast, this has got to be the game. Beneath the quaint streets and alleyways of Grand Animus lies a vast labyrinth of ruins, long forgotten by those above. In Ruins Magnus, journey deep into the hidden subterranean realm in search of precious and powerful artifacts. Dude, this is a Japanese JRPG to the full extent, with 26 fully voiced quests and all the kind of good stuff you expect out of a JRPG. It looked beautiful. Dude, this looks really good.
A lot of really cool spell casting and stuff happening too. It kind of reminded me of that one game that we played forever ago now.
Wizards.
Was that the one where you could do different hand signs and that?
Yeah, you just
were fighting.
It was cool, man. I had fun playing that one. It was so they have a sequel to that, so maybe people check out that one, because the first one, well, I talked about issues in my review of how things didn't quite line up and work the way you anticipated them to.
Yeah.
Dude, the next game shouldn't need any introduction because it is Moss Book 2. This is it. Everybody, Quill is back. Quill just launched on PlayStation VR. So if you have a PlayStation VR, you can grab the sequel over there. However, Book 2 builds on the story set forth in Moss. Having rescued your uncle, Argus, Quill's adventure continues with the revelation that a winged tyrant is hunting her within the Hex Castle where her uncle was once held captive. Dude, it is a puzzle experience like never before as you control Quill, who's an adorable little character. And I fell in love with this game.
Oh, it reminds me of two different things. Simultaneously. Well, one is Redwall. If anybody's ever seen the cartoon Redwall from about 20 years ago, awesome show, and this reminds me of that. But it also has this kind of look to it that reminds me of Tunic, and that may be because you're a small animal with wielding a sword. That might just be it. But it kind of has that cutesy art style to it. But well, it gives me an idea of what the game feels like, and I have not played Moss 1 or 2, but I'm very curious about this.
So Moss looked great on the original PlayStation VR. And then when they announced Moss 2 was coming, I was hoping that they were going to hold it back for PlayStation VR 2. And they didn't. They put it out on the original PlayStation VR, which I understand because you have an install base there, right? It makes a lot of sense to be where your community is already thriving somewhat. Like VR is a unique experience, right? Some people get it, some people are in, some people are not. So VR isn't for everybody because a lot of games do weigh heavily on motion sickness. But in Quill, it doesn't happen because you literally kind of stand in one spot, you look over top the scene, and then you guide Quill through these scenarios and stuff, and then you transition from one level into the next level, and it is awesome. Dude, it is so cool. I absolutely loved it. So now with the sequel being here, they, as I said, launched on PlayStation VR. They'll probably carry that over to PSVR 2 when that happens, but they now are bringing it to the Oculus. And I was curious to see if it was going to look any better on, newer hardware, newer tech. Would that look and run differently at all? So I'm waiting to see how that experience is versus old tech, where I've often said playing PlayStation VR feels like I have 720 goggles on. So it's
right. And it takes a little getting used to.
It does, absolutely. When we're so used to 4K now this time, right? Where that's where PSVR 2 is heading next. So if Polyarc would have maybe waited, or maybe will they do like a high res port over to the next gen? I don't know, but definitely just go play Quill. Moss is an excellent game. Moss 2, the book, is nextly one of my most anticipated VR games this year. So I'll be jumping into that here shortly. Scott, Aspire 2 was announced though. We are huge fans of stealth games, and to play a stealth game in VR is so cool. And here's the best part: because it's a stealth game, Scott, you're moving slowly, right? So that helps with the motion sickness
it does.
we often experience.
It reminds me of it has a bit of a 007 look and feel to it, which I know that sounds like quite a big claim, but when you look at the gun looking down the sights, the kind of environments that are around, it does look very 007 Goldeneye. But this one has 2-player, and that seems like such a great idea to me. I had a lot of fun. This is maybe the 3rd or 4th VR game that I played, Aspire 1. And I remember I had a moment because I was hiding under a box that a guy was just peeking over, and I put the gun over and I blind fired, and I thought it was the coolest thing. Like, that's when I realized, okay, VR is pretty serious.
No, it absolutely is, right? The team is back with a bigger and better sequel, Aspire 2. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to ultimately locate and stop the launch of an untraceable supersonic missile, a true doomsday device. So yeah, and then of course, being a spy espionage game, you get all kinds of gadgets and so forth. Dude, very cool. Definitely want to check out this. This is from our friends over at Tripwire too. So yeah, look for a review of that one in the near future when that one comes around. I do expect hopefully to get our hands on that and jump in, because man, Aspire 1 was cool, but again, we both played it and it was there's a couple of glitches here or there, right? Like, it wasn't perfect, but for their first go around with Aspire 1, I thought it was a good foundation to build off of. It's nice to see them back. There was
somewhere I had to bring a key card to a door or something like that, and the key card just did not exist, and I spent hours walking around, but I'm sure they've had a lot of time to fix issues like that.
Well, so they've done a lot of updates to Aspire 1 since the launch of the game as well. So they paid attention and listened to the community and worked on updating it as much as possible. And now here we are with the Quest 2 sometime this year. When? Don't really know, but hopefully sooner than later, because I'd love to jump back in. Dude, did you ever play Red Matter?
No, I was not aware of Red Matter.
Me either, but we do have Red Matter 2 apparently is on the way. Red Matter 2 picks up right after where the previous game left off. So if you haven't played Red Matter 1, you might want to play that first. You might you might have escaped the titular Red Matter last time, but you certainly haven't stopped it. So yeah, there's the plague kind of going through everything, and you gotta go and, you know, save the world scenario kind of thing, Scott.
Scarily topical.
Yeah, it's not for me, I'll tell you that, dude. It seemed creepy, and I'm like, I'm not doing this. We got a couple other creepy games we're gonna get into in a second. That no, I'm not playing that game. But I do want to play Among Us VR, dude. This game looks incredible. Oh man, can you? Here's the thing. I talked about this off camera before we even started the show. Among Us is a massive game. It's been around. It's been copied by Epic Games, right, for Fortnite, with their own game mode where the team over at Among Us were like, yo, how about a little kickback or a little conversation? So Inner Sloth was kind of
1% of the revenue that pulls in,
right? So Inner Sloth was kind of hurt, and I don't blame them in the slightest, because they blatantly took that game and imported it right into Fortnite. Right, like it was just everybody went, yo, this is just Among Us in Fortnite, and it's just, so Inner Sloth took to Twitter. It was kind of like, yeah, this isn't cool, and rightfully so. But now, dude, we're getting it in VR, and then this looks like a fantastic experience. You were in the vents, and you can like peek through the vent. This is, oh man, I can't wait to try it.
I was saying that to you before. I really hope that you can lean and just slightly peek around corners, because what I like to do in any setting, even in the real world, especially in the real world, is just to kind of just sneak up on people a little bit, just creep them out a little bit without giving myself away. But it looks like it's really fun. The way there's no facial expressions, there's no tells as to if people are lying or not. I really hope the proximity voice chat works. That way I can do stuff without giving myself away to everybody else.
No, for sure, right? So this is made by Inner Sloth, Robot Teddy, and Shell Games. Yo, shout out to Shell Games. I love that studio. They made some of the best games around, Until You Fall, and I Expect You to Die 1 and 2. Those games are incredible.
Okay.
I Expect You to Die, they're absolutely hilarious games.
I think I laughed pretty hard during a review of one of those.
They're funny. Corey and I think, reviewed the sequel, and we had a blast. Dude, you're the spy, but everything kind of goes like it just falls apart on you. It's so well done.
I think it was a bomb defusal.
Oh yeah.
I laughed.
Just blows up in your face. Even lasers, all kinds of stuff. It's awesome, dude. Here's one that makes me a little skeptical because it never seems to work in VR. This is NFL Pro Era.
Oh yeah, my first impression was this looks like a throw up happening. Well, this looks like motion sickness.
So you take on the role of a quarterback, which is cool, right? A lot of people, especially if you are a fan of the NFL, always have that dream moment of, you know, throwing the long bomb and making the biggest plays and all that kind of stuff. So there's Nate. Drew loves the spookies. Get out of our chat, buddy. So here's the thing, dude. I played a ton of VR games where you throw a ball and it is yet to actually work. It literally falls on my feet. It goes this way, it goes that way. It even goes straight up. So if they can nail this, they need to share that tech and give it to everybody else that I've played their games and they can't throw a ball at all. So I'm curious to see. I'm not the biggest football guy at all, but I know there are some massive fans out there. So if it actually works, I'd definitely be curious to see. Because every time, the problem is, Scott, you throw a football, right? You palm it this way.
Yeah.
But you have your control. I don't have my controller with me, right? So I'm kind of curious, how do you throw to make it feel natural? I think that's the biggest thing. I know they have hand tracking, but you can't do hand tracking with a football throwing situation. I played.
Well, it still has to be in your hand, presumably. So.
Yeah, I played hoops. Dude, that ball tracking system didn't work whatsoever. I grabbed the ball, I go like this, and the ball just dropped. I was like, "Whoa, really?" Like there's.
And you've got one expectation, hoops.
It was just, man, it just did not work. So I'm really curious to see if they can resolve that issue and fix throwing a ball in VR, because I've like I say, yet to see it work properly.
I like the way the play planning and stuff works. That looked really cool. So if you're a fan of football, I think you're really going to be into it. Yeah. It's all a matter of if that throw works, and well, hopefully. It's been a while since we played hoops.
Absolutely. Stress Level Zero is back with another one called Bone Lab. They did Bone Works, which came out just a couple years ago, Scott. So again, not really my type of game, because we were talking again off camera about how it kind of reminds me a little bit of Half-Life Alyx with some gunplay and stuff like that. And it's just, again, kind of a creepy, but hope you're ready for the follow-up.
Oh, it does.
Because
that does have a bit of a
spooky,
Half-Life look to the appearance of it, and it does kind of have like just a kind of shooter base. That's what it's based on. I think is mainly shooter. They went to try and put as many physics objects and systems in as they could. So you can pick up whatever you want and manipulate it however you want. And I only know so much about Boneworks because they're done by Corridor Crew, or at least people from Corridor Crew on YouTube do the VFX artists. They do a huge show there, and they were putting a lot of effort behind this. So I'm not yet experienced playing the game, but I'm really curious.
No, it does look cool. Escaping execution, you'll find yourself in a mysterious underground lab. Uncover the truth about your reality. That's right there tells me no. That's just not my style. So yeah, it's got creepy written all over it. But I know a lot of people love Boneworks, so this should be a good follow-up, I think, to that. And sticking with creepy, Scott, it's The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution. This is the next chapter in The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. I tried that game and I had to instantly pass it off to Nate to review. Wow. Dude, I have never been so creeped out in a game. And I could literally feel the zombies coming up behind me, and like, man, the hair on the back of my neck. I can't. I just. I wish
saying I could. That, and I'm like, I'm looking at. Can I get a second credit card? I want that game tonight.
It's awesome. You know, I played maybe about a half hour before I was like, I can't. Maybe an hour tops, and I was just like, It was cool, but you're wandering around, and dude, you got zombies over there, zombies here. They're creeping everywhere. You're taking them out. It was. It was disappointing. I couldn't play it. That's what it was. It's a great game. I know a lot of people love it. So definitely look for.
I like to play those, and I think of it as a training simulator. This could happen one day.
Well, oh no, man! You should get together with Crystal. She talks about that too. You guys are wrong. Get out of here,
Crystal. I'll hit you up on the Facebook chat. I have a lot of things to discuss. I got some plans. I got some maps.
We game every night. Just talk to her then. All right, let's get into what isn't so creepy, but kind of. It's Ghostbusters VR, buddy. This one actually kind of had me hyped. So Zuckerberg came on to end off the stream, and he dropped by to introduce Ghostbusters VR, published by Sony Pictures Virtual Reality. Yeah, which makes me think PSVR 2 as well in the future, right? Doesn't that make sense? Yeah, it's developed by N Dreams, the team behind Phantom Covert Ops, which is another stealth game, dude, that we loved. It was so good. It was fantastic.
That was the one that affected me with motion sickness for the first time ever.
Yeah,
something about rowing the boat, and it was
so good.
You know, one hand over hand, and I'm not feeling the gliding. I don't know. It did something to me where I'm normally okay. Even I think I've driven vehicles in VR a couple times, but the boat was not good for me.
You literally sat in a kayak and you stealthed your way through the game. Dude, I loved it. You're taking out cameras, you're taking out guards, you're hiding in weeds. It was hiding under bridges. It was so cool. So cool. But now, strap on your very own Proton pack and step into the Ghostbusters universe. Based out of your new San Francisco headquarters, you'll track, blast, and trap ghosts while trying to unravel a mystery that threatens the entire city, or maybe the world, Scott. That's cool. Dude, I'm pretty pumped for this one. This looks like a lot of fun, and it looked like it was 4-person co-op.
That's really cool. Yeah, no, this is one of those games. I'm trying to think of Phasmophobia. That's it. I was really struggling to remember. I know it's a weird word, but Phasmophobia. I've seen a lot of people play that. A lot of streamers, and the fun you have.
Very popular.
Yeah, going back and forth, co-op hunting ghosts. It looks really cool, and I thought at first I went, well, the Ghostbusters. That seems kind of. I don't know. But no, seeing a little bit of the premise here and the idea that it's kind of like a phasmophobia, I get it. I think this is really cool.
Dude, they got a bit of a Ghostbusters revolution going on. It's coming back, right? It's funny. We had a movie just not too long ago. It was great. I really loved it. From there, you got Ilphonics working on.
Second one?
Yeah, that was a sequel. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say yeah.
Because they did a reboot, right? But that one kind of fell.
Kind of fell short. This one was cool. My kids loved it. We had a good time. Like, it was a great time. And then from there, we got Ilphonic working on a Ghostbusters game as well, which is a co-op hunt the ghost kind of scenario where one person actually plays as the ghost, which looks awesome, right? That's the team behind Predator and some fantastic games. So that's really cool to see. And then now we have this one here in VR as well. It looks awesome. It's cool to see Ilphonics continue with the movie video game adaptations. Absolutely, buddy. Looks very cool. So I'm excited to see where this goes. Scott, we do have one game out today. What do we have?
We have Teardown on PC.
Oh, that was quick and short. That was it. Wow.
Yeah,
just like that.
Big long list today.
Just one game. Scott, overall impressions though of the Oculus VR showcase?
Oh, I'm pretty excited. I like what I've seen so far. I'm still looking for more of like a military kind of simulator shooter, but I'm not sure if that's very popular in today's era. And
that's fair.
There's a lot more creative things you can do than that.
Absolutely, it definitely is. Scott, that's creative enough for us because this is going to wrap up ITG Daily. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This is the show that brings you all the hottest in gaming news. You can join us live at 11 a.m. Eastern over on twitch.tv/theofficial ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG Reviews. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca, podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, I'm Drew, that's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.